You're listening to Three Kitchens Podcast, a member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Locally grown, community supported. Now it's time to get cooking. This episode of Three Kitchens is brought to you by ATB. At ATB, we make banking work for you.
With expert and practical advice in everyday banking and investment planning expertise and management services with ATB Wealth, you can be confident that you're making smart choices when it comes to your money.
We have a history of doing what's right for our clients, especially when times are tough, because ATB was built to help Albertans. For more information, visit atb.com.
Welcome to Three Kitchens, the podcast where we talk about what we're cooking. I'm Heather Dyer. I'm here with Sarah Somasundaram. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Sarah has a cold, so she may...
Her voice sounds extra sexy today.
Extra low.
Super sexy voice.
If there is such a thing with my voice. I'm going to be muted for most of this episode, so...
Okay.
But I'm here.
That's totally fine. And Erin Walker. Hi, Erin.
Hello, hello.
So what's going on today, ladies? Erin, you and I were just chatting about the Stampede Midway food. And for anyone who's not from around here, the Calgary Stampede, as they call it, the greatest outdoor show on earth, is basically just it's a rodeo is the main thing. And then there's a whole bunch of other events.
It's a reason for people who work here to drink for a week.
Young people. I think by this age, we don't even do any stampeding, but younger folks like it a lot. I used to
a lot of romances happen.
There's a Stampede baby bump. 9 months
right,
post Stampede, there is a notable bump in the number of babies born. Anyway, my husband brought up that, the Stampede Coke stage, we should see if there's any bands worth checking out because, we're into current music. And then he started listing the food that they're going to be bringing to the Stampede because part of the attraction of going to this thing is the crazy things that they choose to make. I don't know.
It's not really, I don't know if it's part of the attraction, but
it is. People go down
just
to try all the Midway food.
It's
because
very
the Midway
carnival food, right?
Yeah.
It's deep fried everything.
Yeah. So there's a couple that stood out to me, but what stood out to you?
Okay, what have you had in the past?
Oh, I don't eat that shit.
I just like those donuts. You know, those
mini
donuts?
People
There's always
love
those.
the mini donuts.
Sure.
I've had the deep fried Oreos.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, they batter and fry an Oreo. It's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing to be like, wow, you totally have to eat this.
Okay.
It's an Oreo and it's warm and it's crusty. Whatever.
But there's always like weird, there's a bit of a shock value.
Yes.
All right, you both have obviously read up about this, so tell me all about this.
So Heather, what was on your list of do not go there?
Okay, there's something, and I don't have it, I just heard it on the radio. I didn't take note of the exact name, but there's something called like a bad breath lemonade. It is lemonade with onions and garlic.
Come on. Lemonade with onions and garlic in it, like a soup.
No, it's lemon juice with onion and garlic.
Okay, so that sounds like cold soup.
And sugar?
Well, I don't think there's onions floating around in there. I imagine it's pureed or something.
Maybe it's garnished with a nice deep fried onion on the side.
Anyway, it sounds disgusting. And why would you want to? You're definitely not going to hook up with anybody if you're drinking something called bad breath.
Oh, yes,
lemonade.
you will.
I'm sorry. It's Stampede.
They're so freaking drunk at that point.
You also know Stampede means that you just throw out all of your standards, too.
Right.
That's the other thing about Stampede.
The beer goggles are thick.
Yes. As are the lemonade ones.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Okay, so let me know if you would try this next item.
Okay.
It's a Kraft Dinner flavored soft serve ice cream.
Kraft Dinner mac and cheese flavored ice cream. God. Yuck.
Right?
That sounds really awful. And it's bright yellow like you'd expect. Or orange or whatever. Yeah.
And are there going to be chunks of noodles in it, guys?
Yuck. Yuck. Okay, wait, but is it sweet?
I don't know.
And savory? And mac and cheesy?
I'm guessing it's just going to taste like macaroni and cheese.
All right, guys. And listeners, these foods are not cheap. So whoever who's going to, this is an investment. to try something that sounds not so delicious.
Sarah, I have another one for you.
All right.
There's another one.
Let's hear it.
It is a mealworm hot dog.
No.
There's worms on it.
No, that's not. Are they live?
What?
Are they live?
No, I don't think they'd be crawling. But
no, that's not okay. That's just pushing it. I mean, why?
Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
Okay, this sounds tasty.
Okay.
Honey habanero ice cream pops.
Okay, I'll try that.
Right.
That's triable.
Yeah.
How much are they? Like $18?
Oh, I'm sure it's probably at least.
Well, I'm not going to the Midway. I'm not going to eat any of this stuff because I'm not going there. I do enjoy a good pancake breakfast with maybe a live band.
Yes. And they're all over the city. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to go to the grounds to do that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I've had some fun Stampede times in my life. Yeah. It's just not really now.
No.
It was fun then, but not fun now.
Mm-hmm.
We hopefully have tempted your taste buds with those fantastic Midway food combinations that they've come up with this year for you.
No, you know what? What we've done is just made the recipe I'm going to talk about sound that much better.
That's right, because low standards, and then now you've got something real.
So if you're not into putting mac and cheese into your soft serve ice cream.
Mealworms on your hot dog. I actually did see a photo of that one, and it's like, I thought of Sarah because she's got a fear of worms and creepy crawly snakes.
What are you into, Heather? What are you into? What are we into?
Okay. There will be no worms in this recipe. In fact, it's vegetarian, so there will be no animals of any kind.
Sarah's face just fell a little bit there. She was like,
I know. But you know what? I feel like, okay, so I'm doing another sandwich, and I realize I just made a sandwich for my last episode, and this is completely different. That was like meat on meat. It was bacon on chicken, and it was delicious. But this one is veggie. So
this is going to balance it out for us. Is really
it's just completely different. Yeah, it's completely different. Okay. It's called or Sabich, and I'm probably saying that wrong. I Googled the pronunciation, but sometimes they steer me wrong. You know, Google with you get that little computer voice that goes Sabich. Right. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a real person say this.
Sabich. Okay, I'm just going to say Sabich, and let's hope it's right. It's an Israeli sandwich. It's named for the guy who invented it. I was thinking inventing a sandwich sounds kind of odd, but I guess
popularized it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he just popularized
the sandwich is named after the Earl of Sandwich. Of course you name it after whoever
made
it.
I know, but is it invented? Is it really an invention when you just put a bunch of stuff in some bread? Like, I don't know. Anyway. Created by. There you go. That's a better word.
Let's use created.
So this guy, Sabich Halabi, was the first to start selling it. I don't know if he created it, but he started selling it in the 60s in Israel. And it's described as the ingredients of a Jewish Iraqi breakfast put into a pita. So
why am I already so excited about this?
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
Like, you don't even have to tell me anything about what's on it, what ingredients.
Done.
I'm just going to eat it. I already know I cannot wait to eat this. Maybe because I just had those Turkish pitas again. I am just I'm living in the Mediterranean countries, and right now with my food wants.
And
Middle Eastern.
Me and Pinterest, just browsing around stuff, I saw this photo of one of these sandwiches, and I think I sent it to you guys. I was like, I want to eat this. I don't even know what's in it. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
So it is a pita, not Turkish pita pizza, but pita bread.
Right.
It's pita, hummus, tahini sauce, amba sauce, eggplant, eggs, potatoes, and then an Israeli salad, which is tomato, cucumber, cabbage, onion, parsley. So we got all the vegetables. Okay, so the tahini sauce is tahini, which is sesame paste, with lemon and garlic. That's it. We're just a simple little, just zhuzhing up your tahini.
Right.
Are you going to be using some salted lemons in that, Heather?
Do you really even need to ask that question anymore? It's like
on.
kind of like when we say lemon, now it just means salted lemon.
Just leave out the salt and just
Note to
replace
all
it.
listeners. Asking if it's salted lemon is rhetorical.
Yes.
Duh, it is.
Okay, so let me tell you about amba sauce. I came across this, I don't know, few months ago, and I made it. I've made it a couple times now, and I put it on a kofta burger, which was kind of like a kofta is more often like a meatball kind of, but it was a burger patty. Anyway, look up kofta if you want to. That was delicious all on its own. But an amba sauce is a mango sauce. So you're cooking this down: mango, chili peppers, mustard seeds, lemon, cumin, sumac, fenugreek, cayenne pepper, brown sugar. So it's sweet and spicy, and the mustard seed gives it this, I don't know, completely different
punch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And
mustard makes everything better.
Well, yes. But the seed.
Erin's a big mustard fan, so she's happy.
Yeah, I'd never really done much with mustard seeds. And, you get them in the oil and they pop. And then you're putting all your other stuff in there.
Oh, you're doing that? Are you popping mustard seeds? I pop mustard seeds all the time.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What do you put them in?
I put them in lots of Indian dishes.
Oh, okay.
I find it funny because I was on Roop's podcast once, a video cast, and we were talking about how to pop mustard seeds the proper way.
Oh, there's a proper way. Oh, no.
Proper way.
Sounds like you better do your research there, Heather.
Oh, don't worry about it. It'll be delicious.
I have made it a couple of times and it was delicious. And in fact, I didn't have chili peppers when I made it in the past, and it was still delicious, but I'm going to make sure to put peppers in this time. I don't know what kind of chili pepper, actually. Any thoughts on that?
Spicier the better. So maybe I'll just shut up.
I'll see what I can find. All right. So I've got those two things to make. The salad, as I mentioned, is, you're chopping up tomato, cucumber, cabbage, and onions and parsley.
Yeah.
Probably some olive oil.
Do you put any type of acid on there? For some reason, that just sounds like it'd be really good. Like, I remember that salad that we made when we had our fall feast from Tawau. Remember you made that little, it was like a cucumber onion. Sarah made it on the side of her.
Oh, the stuff that I put over the marrow.
Yeah, like there was a crispy, crunchy little, and it had a little bit of a dressing on it that was really tasty, and I really liked that. So I wonder if this has,
let me see,
a little bit of acid to cut through it.
Well, would you like to take a guess? Maybe some lemon. Let's do some salted lemon in there.
Not going to say no to that, right?
Nope, that'll work. Okay. All right. So we talked about that. So it also has hummus. I think I mentioned that, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make the hummus, possibly. The eggplant is grilled or sautéed.
Okay.
The eggs are boiled eggs sliced in there, and cooked peeled potatoes. So you've got eggplant, eggs, potatoes, salad, couple of different sauces, and you're layering all of this into your pita pocket. Your pita bread has a hollow in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
And you slice it open and you layer all this stuff in there. So the other thing I'm going to do is make the pita bread. Because
you are?
I am. I've never made pita.
What?
And I feel like
the what?
I feel like the sabich. Probably say I've forgotten already how I was supposed to say it. Sabich. I feel like it warrants a fresh homemade piece of bread. I don't want to put it in that dried thing from the store. I mean, some of them are good. And if you've never, I've never had a homemade pita bread. Even when you go to like the delis,
they don't make their own
not
pita
homemade,
bread. No.
But I'm going to try. So it's a yeast.
Oh, there is yeast in it. I see.
Oh my God. Doesn't it make the pocket as it cooks?
Yeah, you need the yeast in order for it to
make the little pocket.
Interesting.
Oh
so
my
it's
God, I've always wanted to try this.
I know. I've never thought of doing it until I started looking at the sandwich, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to attempt at least. Yes. Maybe I'll buy some as backup, but I'm going to attempt.
I am dancing all over my seat right now. I'm sorry. I'm so, I can't sit still now.
Do you want to make the pitas for me? You seem really excited about it.
No.
Okay, so it's a flour, yeast, salt, sugar, water, oil.
Okay.
Very basic kind of dough. It rises for 90 minutes. You're going to punch it down, knead it. Gets 20 minutes more. So it's pretty quick. It's not like an overnight bread.
No.
It's reasonably quick. And then I have to look up the recipe later, but I'm not sure how many it makes, but you're going to make little balls, roll them out. So you're rolling it into like a disc.
Yeah.
And then in a skillet, you do it individually and you put it on the hot skillet until it starts to kind of puff, and then you flip it over. So this could be labor intensive.
This sounds extremely labor intensive, but also super cool.
If it works and it actually puffs up and I actually get the hole in the middle, I think it's going to be so much better than a store-bought.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, this is exciting.
I am so hungry about this.
Because the other things are easy. I mean, making a sauce, making a quick salad, grilling some eggplant. That's all. I mean, there's nothing complicated about this. I just wanted to try.
I love making flatbreads. So this is like, I'm not big into those, loaf breads and stuff like that, flatbreads. So exciting.
Yeah, it's just a little, but trying to get that pocket of air in the middle is where I'm like, oh boy.
This is going to be super neat.
This will be fun. Now, even if you don't get the hole in the middle,
right,
fold it together.
You just fold
it'll
it. Exactly.
Delicious.
Like either way, it's a great thing to practice. And I imagine like takes a few times of doing it to kind of, but I love the idea of making your own pita. That's so like, can you imagine inviting people over and going, where'd you get the pita from? That's delicious. I made it.
I just made it this morning.
Awesome.
No biggie. So come back after the commercial, the ad,
sorry.
and hear if I got a pocket in my pita. This episode of Three Kitchens is brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. Alberta Blue Cross understands that running a small business is tough, and they understand business owners in Alberta are busy.
Let Alberta Blue Cross give you peace of mind with a group benefit plan. They offer health, dental, life, and disability coverage for your employees.
Alberta Blue Cross group benefit plans are easy to manage, anywhere, anytime, and on any device, making it easy for you and your employees to access. To learn more and explore your options, head to ab.bluecross.ca.
So let's talk about Sabich. Gosh, pronouncing that. Okay. Sabich. I accessed the majority of the recipes for this out of the spruceeats.com. So I think I've talked about this site before.
Yeah.
It's like free promo for all these like food blogs that we're always talking about. Because this recipe that they have in here for the Sabich includes the recipe for the tahini sauce. It includes the amba sauce. It includes, and the hummus.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, it doesn't include the bread, so I got the bread from another site. But let's talk about the sauces first, because that's where I started. Like the day before, I made the amba and the hummus so that I would have them ready to go.
Please talk about the sauces, because they've now run out in my fridge, and I'm a very sad,
very sad
person.
All right. So amba sauce, I had made this actually a couple times before and put it on other things. Like it's really good on burgers. It's kind of like a chutney, like a mango chutney kind of. Yeah. So you could put it on all kinds of things. So you're dicing your mango, and I have used frozen mango for this, and it works perfectly fine. So if you don't want to have to peel and chop, I find it a little bit of a pain in the butt. And I would have preferred, if I'd been thinking about it, I think frozen would have just been a lot easier, because it's already all diced up and you just pour it out of the bag and there you go.
Right.
Nice.
So you start with some canola oil or whichever oil you prefer in your pot, heat it up, put in your mustard seeds, and when they start to pop, then you add in your hot chili pepper, seeded and diced. I ended up using a Thai red chili because that's what was handy to me. Then you cook that a little bit. You add your mango in with lemon juice and brown sugar. And then you have a cup of water handy, and you add in water, you stir, you kind of keep doing this until the sugar's dissolved, and you're just adding water as you need it to keep it from like burning on the bottom.
Okay.
Then you let that simmer down until your mango is tender. So you want to soften your mango. Stir in cumin, fenugreek, sumac, cayenne pepper, and salt. I didn't have fenugreek, so I left that out. I did think I should have made a call to Sarah's spice pantry, but I just thought, we'll just leave it. So then you take it off the heat, let it cool, put it in a container, put it in the fridge, and leave it at least overnight so that all the flavors are in there. So easy, right? Yeah. There's your amba sauce done and ready. Then so on the Spruce Eats, when you click hummus to get the recipe, they have quite a number of them, different variations. I just did the ultimate classic hummus because I have made hummus before, and this was a straight hummus recipe. You've got chickpeas, some of the liquid from the chickpeas, lemon juice, tahini, garlic, salt, olive oil. And you're putting that in your food processor. Everything but the olive oil, you kind of whiz it up, and then you're drizzling your oil in and mixing it until it's blended to the kind of the consistency that you want. It's like the easiest thing to make, especially if you have a can of chickpeas. If you had to rehydrate first, that would take a bit more time, and this makes quite a bit. Let's see, we started with a 16-ounce can of chickpeas. I had quite a bit of hummus. So that's very basic. If you want, you can like add spice to it. You can do all kinds of things with hummus. Tahini sauce is just sesame paste, water, lemon juice, garlic powder, salt to taste, and ground black pepper. Mix that all up. And if you've eaten, tahini, it's bitter, right?
Right.
So you just want to taste it and make sure, like I added a bit more lemon because I prefer it a little less bitter and more acidic. So you kind of just play around with that one. Okay, so I did that the day before. I had my sauces done. They're in the fridge, ready to go. And then the next day I made my pita bread. So this is from a site called letthebakingBegin.com. Okay. Homemade pita bread recipe. Okay, this is where it got interesting because I definitely had never made pita. And I was concerned about getting that hollow in the middle. The recipe itself is very simple. You're just doing your yeast, salt, sugar, water, warm water, and olive oil in let that froth up a little bit. What do they call it?
Activate.
That's right. Then put it in the bowl of your mixer, add 2.5 cups of flour, and let that go with the dough hook. Or knead it by hand if you don't have a mixer. I think you need it for about 10 minutes. You want it to be tacky and elastic, but not too sticky. Then you're just going to put it in your oiled bowl with a kitchen towel, like a tea towel over it, and then leave it for 1 to 2 hours until it doubles in size. Okay. So pretty easy. And then you're going to put it out on a floured surface, divide it into 8 equal pieces. This makes 8 pitas. Roll them into balls, flatten them into discs, use a rolling pin, and roll them out to about 1/4 inch thickness. I found that they rolled pretty easily.
Okay, yeah.
They're quite small, I would say. This is like I know sometimes the ones you get in the store are quite large, and that's what I had in my mind was this big round. When you cut it in half, you have quite a large sandwich, right? But this is smaller for sure. You're not cutting it in half and making 2 sandwiches because that would be teeny tiny. So if you want more or you want bigger ones, then maybe double the recipe because this makes 8 fairly small pitas. Okay, so after you've rolled them out, you let them proof for about 30 minutes and preheat your oven to 500 Fahrenheit. Or as hot as your oven gets. Mine tops at 500. And then I use this method that's in this recipe, which is you can use a baking stone or a cast iron skillet. So I put my cast iron pan in upside down in my oven while it was heating, like let it get hot in the oven. And then you don't want all the heat to get out. So kind of be quick, open it up, pop your flat disc of dough on there. Close it, watch and see, because then it's going to like puff up a little bit. And there was a point where I texted you guys with this video. I was like, oh, watch this. I was so excited to see it. Like one of them got quite like a balloon. It
was like a little balloon in your oven. It was so cool.
It was fun to watch it like really puff up. Then you have to be careful when you take it out because it says to use tongs and I use tongs, but that kind of deflated
deflates it, right.
Right. So it works better to use like a spatula and just scoop underneath it and take it out. Right.
And how long did that take to puff up like that?
Oh, I think it was about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And you don't have to turn it over or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't turn it over. So the other method I had read about was on the stovetop in your skillet and you would flip it.
Yeah.
But I think in the oven, because you've got heat all around, that's why you don't have to flip it.
Okay.
And I thought maybe that would be easier. So there you go. And then you just repeat all of them, get them all done.
That's not bad if it's only 8.
You got 8 of them. And let's say you're at like 5 minutes a piece. Takes a little bit of time, but that's not crazy. So after I let them totally cool, I just put them under a tea towel. I didn't want them to like dry out too much. But I left them there to totally cool. And then I wrapped each one in like some plastic and I put them all in a bread bag. And then because I didn't know if they might freeze together or whatever. And I put them in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I must
Ah,
have done this actually in 3 days. Now that I now that I think about it, because I did sauces, then I did bread, and then I served the sandwiches on the third day. That's why I put them in the freezer. So,
Right.
I mean, I think they totally would have been fine overnight, but I just didn't know how that would go. So I thought, let's just put them in the freezer. And I think you could freeze them as long as you want. I mean, they're when they came out of the freezer, they were perfect. Okay, so there's your pita. Back to our sabich at the Spruce Eats. Now, when you're ready to make your sabich, you take your bread out, and come to like room temperature while you prep your filling. So, there's lots of different fillings you could put into one of these sandwiches. Eggplant seems to be pretty standard. Boiled egg, like hard-boiled egg sliced. Hummus, amba sauce for sure, tahini sauce, and what's called an Israeli salad. So tomato, cucumber, red onion, all those things diced, tablespoon of lemon juice, salt, and pepper to taste. So you're just making a very simple chopped Mediterranean salad, essentially. And then you're grilling or sauteing your sliced eggplant. So this calls for small eggplants. I could only find the big one. So I got one big one, and I sliced it pretty thin because when my pitas are quite small, I didn't want the whole thing taken up by
one big chunk.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, do you do anything to the eggplant before you grill it, like salt it or?
It doesn't say to. I did salt it a little bit just because that seems to be pretty standard practice with eggplants. You want to sweat it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I did do that, but I didn't worry too much about it. It wasn't I don't think it was in the recipe. So you've got your eggplants, you've got your hard-boiled eggs sliced, you've already got your salad done, you've got your amba sauce, your tahini sauce, your hummus. Get everything out. Now it was time to slice the pita and cut and see if I could make a pocket.
Right.
My pita bread.
The pita pocket.
Yes, the pita pocket. So it's hard to describe, but what I did was I picked where it seemed like there was an air pocket, and I kind of put the pointed end of a serrated knife in, and then sort of cut sawed around to cut like a pocket, but only one top of the circle of the round pita,
Right.
Because like I said, they're not big enough to cut in half and open and have two sandwiches. So that's what I did. And some of them were, there was definitely air pocket in there, but I don't think any of them had a complete open air pocket all the way through. I had to slice through bread at certain points.
Okay.
I find that sometimes even with the store-bought ones, it's like that.
It's the same thing, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I would say overall, though, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think it definitely made a pita pocket, even though you had to slice a little bit, and there may have been the odd one that had a hole that broke. Totally fine. So then it's just a matter of layering all your stuff in there. And because it's small, it was kind of hard to hold it open, get some stuff, put in some eggplant, put in some amba sauce, put in some salad, put in some hummus, and trying to layer it all in. Just do your best. Just the main thing is just to get all the yummy stuff into your and then eat it up.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's all the recipes, all the things to make your sabich.
You applaud now?
Yeah, I want to know how you enjoyed your sandwich.
I think this sandwich has changed my life. Or at least all these sauces. I just love that amba sauce. So after you served us this pita, and I tried so hard to eat it slowly to enjoy all the flavor, and before I knew it, it was gone. Yeah. And I was like, well, damn, I want more that tastes like that.
It was so small because the bread was so small. And I felt the same way too.
It did fill me up, but I just wanted more of it because it tasted so good. Yeah. So what I was doing as the week went on, and it was really fast to do, as soon as you have the sauces sitting in your fridge, it took me almost nothing to kind of recreate the same thing. And so what I was doing was, instead of boiling an egg, I just fried up a couple eggs and just fried them a little bit soft. And then I took a naan bread and I popped it into the toaster oven and heated it up. I would put hummus on one side, the amba sauce on the other. I'd chop up a tomato and a cucumber and make that little salad. And then I would stuff as much as I could in there, put the egg on top and like fold it shut really fast, like you're closing a book.
Yeah.
And then just eating it until it dripped down my elbows.
Nice.
And the flavor was just to die for. I wish I had I didn't go and seek out the eggplants to also add in there. But just those simple little bits with the egg, the sauce, and the salad. And then I always had extra salad. So then I had a little salad on the side that I just forked up. And yum. And it was quick. So good, Heather. I love the flavors.
Yeah, the flavors are good.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't
delicious.
take that long. Like the amba sauce, you're really only simmering it like 15 minutes or so and then putting it in the fridge overnight. So as long as you've got your stuff and you whip it up, you can make it really quick, put it in your fridge, and then you've got it for like the week.
Oh, exactly.
To put on everything.
It was delicious. And it was, again, same problem. After that first bite, I just wanted to eat it. It was so good. All the flavors melded. Same thing. I did the same thing with the leftover sauces. I had extra pita bread, would slap on some leftover meat or whatever with both of them, and then just eat those pitas. And this was a vegetarian dish that you made. And I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It was hearty. It was like satisfying. Yeah.
And I liked that the pita bread was a little bit thicker. Like it
we should talk about just the bread itself.
Sometimes that other stuff from the store just gets too chewy. Like you feel like it's too take
dry.
A bite.
It's dry.
And it's dry and chewy. And like you have to like pull it away and
you have to tear it with your teeth.
You tear it. Yeah. It's not as enjoyable to eat. This stuff I liked that it was a bit thicker. It was a little bit meatier and it just like
softer.
You just sank into it.
Yeah. I liked it too. I would totally make that again, even though I was nervous about it, but I would make a bigger batch and freeze them.
Oh yeah, great idea. I like that. Sure. I like that you froze it and it worked.
I'd like to try that.
Take the time to make
a whole bunch.
Like it's really 8 of them. It didn't take that long.
Right.
No.
Really. The first recipe, well, it wasn't really a recipe. It was more like what is it and what could you put in it? Mentioned peeled, boiled, and then sliced potato. So if you needed to, fill it up a little more, you could put something like potato, or I would think like a yam or something would be good in there too. Like,
no, I wouldn't change it. I think it's perfect as is.
This is like the first time I have been excited about my own lunch in years.
Yeah.
Like
years?
Yeah. Like
you're not a lunch person. Exactly.
I hate making myself
I know.
lunch.
I agree.
And I hate making lunch when the kids are home too. I just for me, lunch is a 4-letter word. Don't say it to me. I hate that question. But now that this is in my life, I'm like, I can't wait for lunch. And it takes no time at all to whip it up once you have these in the fridge. Like I felt like such a grown-up this week eating this instead of like a handful of chocolate chips and 2 oranges or whatever.
Usually.
Whatever the stupid crap is that I'm just digging out of the fridge or whatever's left over in my kids' lunch at 2:00 or,
And you could, and if you don't have the bread or you don't eat bread, just make it like a salad, put it all on your plate, the vegetables and the sauce. And even I would say chicken would be really good in there if you're not vegetarian. Like if you had some leftover roast chicken, it's just the sauce, like, I don't know, baked potato with all that stuff on there.
That would be yum.
Yeah.
No, this is fantastic. This
delicious.
Is so good, Heather. I am so glad you made this.
Now go and make your amba.
I am gonna do that.
What is the traditional way to make the pita? Like, what's the traditional way to heat it up? Yeah, to cook it.
I would imagine probably like a hot stone, either in an oven, like a pizza type oven, or on whatever kind of stove, or even, if you had a fire going and you're camping, you could totally put your griddle, or turn your pan upside down like I did. And just, you could totally do it over a fire, I think.
Because
it just needs to be smoking hot. It needs to be smoking hot, which might be harder.
But if you put your cast iron pan right on top of your coals and just have your fire still going around it, ding dong.
Ding dong. Erin is the person who baked biscuits in the fire
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So she knows a thing or two about.
I love messing around with bread.
You always make bread on your pizza stone in the barbecue. I think this would be a good way of doing it too, right?
Yeah.
You can do a whole bunch at the same time, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Depends
one
how
by
big your
one.
stone is, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Heather.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you very much for bringing those recipes into our lives.
And now for the fine print. Remember, when you like, subscribe, review, or share this podcast, it helps more people find us. Thank you so much for listening.
I picked out the eggplant, but the rest was good.